What is up, RC enthusiasts? Today, we're going to be installing some Supermotos onto my Promoto, so we can do Supermoto Promoto stuff. We're going to install this right here. I'm going to have to reuse those hubs and screws from there because I don't have any spare ones, but it would be a good idea to get a spare screw set because the Promoto wheels, and they come with extra hubs right here. So all you would need for the rear is an extra sprocket and a fake disc. The real disc you're going to need for the front, and that's going to be it, and the screws. And you're going to have two sets of wheels and tires to swap out easily. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to switch over everything to here from there. And a lot of people have been saying that they've been having a hard time getting this front tire to fit on there properly. But I'm going to go ahead and see how hard that is for me to do. The rear one right here, profile this way. It's a lot slimmer profile, so it should lean a lot easier. And the only thing I can see happening with that is you're going to scrape more stuff easier as well, because you're going to lean a lot more with these tires. I'm not sure if I released this video first or the video of me testing this new support I made right here, but this is my final test right here. I can't make it any stronger than that with PETG, so if that doesn't work, oh well, back to the stock one that I have. And I also have a GPM one, and no one's ever gotten back to me on the forums about if the metal ones are actually breaking other stuff on theirs or if that just fixes everything. So anyways, let's stop ranting. Let's get these tires on this sucker so we can start doing some street stuff. So who doesn't like stickers? Yep, you get some stickers with this guy right here. You can tell these tires, brand new, come with hubs. That's for both of them. The wheel is a smaller diameter for sure, so you can't use the off-road tires on these wheels. So if you're planning to buy Promoto stuff and thinking you can put your knobbies on here after you wear these out, these wheels are a smaller diameter, front and rear. Check out those street tires, son. Ready for some wheelie action? This job is so easy. You just need two size Allen heads right here, a 2.0 and a 2.5, and that's going to remove all your screws on the wheels to remove the hub and to also remove the wheels from its axles. You're also going to need this guy right here to remove this rear nut right here. And funny enough, I just realized I've had this for years, and this is actually from the Kyosho hang-on rider. This came with that in the box, in the kit, and it still works great, and I did chip that right there, and that was from trying to put a wrench through there and using it for torque, but yeah, that was my fault. But the rest of the tool is still in great shape. So with your 2.5, you're going to hold this in place, and then twist this loose, lefty-loosey. Then we can take the axle out. So after you take the axle out, you're going to push it forward. You're going to take the chain off the sprocket. And then you can just pull this out. And let's grab the front. The front's just going to be a 2.5 right here. And you just loosen that. And you can just pull that forward, getting that disc out of there, and then push the forks out of the way by spinning them once it's out the disc. And there you go. If you're watching this for the first time and you don't know about this and you think yours is broken, this is a floating disc, guys. This is normal. Don't try to tighten these. You will strip these out. They're meant to be this way. So just leave them that. Once you get them snugged up, that's all it needs to be because it's on plastic. You don't need to torque these down. And that's normal. Front tire to front tire, that's the difference right there. That's a pretty big difference. So this tire is definitely a lot smaller, the front tire. It's a lot smaller than the dirt front tire. So that's definitely going to steepen your fork angle right there. So it's going to give you sharper steering for sure. It might make it a little twitchier, but on the street, you might want this to actually be a lot more snappier. So that's what's going to change. And for this, we're going to have to remove those screws right there. It's a 2.0. Same with those. So there's 12 total, 6 on each side. I'm going to transfer them over with that disc to this wheel right here. Here's the rears. That's how they're oriented right there. As you can tell right here, they're a little bit closer in height than the fronts. The rears, you're not really losing that much, so you're still going to have pretty much the same speed on this right here with that rear wheel being almost the same size. So still probably going to be like 41 miles an hour probably. You're going to probably lose a mile an hour to that tiny little bit of difference because they're really close. Then again, this is bald too, so if this was not bald, then it would be a little bit taller for sure. So maybe 40 mile an hour with this and 42 with this. So with this one, same 6 screws here. 6 Allen screws here, and you're going to transfer them over to here with the sprocket and the fake disc right here. And what I'm going to do for this one, actually, since I have these hubs already with the bearings already in them, I'm going to transfer these hubs over to here and not use those hubs. When I use these hubs, since the bearings already pressed into them, and I don't have to worry about transferring anything else, I'm going to do that for the front and rear because it'll work. So let's get to that. So for all these screws right here, it's the 2.0 you're going to use to unscrew all these. And then once you get all of them off, you're going to transfer everything to the other wheel. Got the sprocket off. Now the reason I'm showing you this is I'm going to reuse those screws, but I'm actually not going to reuse the sprocket because I have a gold one that I'm going to upgrade to, just for looks. It's the same size and everything, same tooth count. Now once you have the fake disc off, you don't have to take the screws all the way out, so it'll just securely stay on there, easy to put back on. Now we can slide our hub assembly out of there. Pretty stuck. There you go. So it just goes in there, same way as the other hub. Line everything up, and then you're gonna put this back on here, and then the fake disc on this side. So you can tell right there on the swing arm it says Renthal, so I'm assuming these are Renthal replicas, or you know, licensed sprockets from Renthal, because they look like Renthal sprockets. Oh, there it is, guys, looking so bling. You guys know me, I'm not really an upgrade guy, you know, I'd rather spend, like, you know, some people get all the Vidabon or whatever, parts trail or whatever, parts for these things, and then it's like the price of another one of these things. I'd rather just have another one. But that's just me. This one right here just matched a little bit with the front. It's not exactly the same color, but a little bit of gold sprocket action isn't, you know, gonna hurt much. They're not that expensive of an upgrade, and they do look cool, and it is a wear item, so I will need one anyway, and I'm just gonna keep the original one for a spare for now. Now to remove this guy. Got the front rotor off. Just make sure not to touch this disc, because you know the oils in your finger can contaminate your rotors and your pads. So I'm sticking to the outside right here, and my hands are pretty dry right now, but if you have really oily fingers, try to wipe them with alcohol first before touching this, because you do not want to get this all oily and then make your brakes not work at all. I plasti dipped this, so it's gonna be stuck. There you go. And if you guys can tell right here, this is plasti dip that I painted the stock front wheel and rear wheel. And the reason I like plasti dip for this, as you can tell, see it's still silver underneath it, is because plasti dip is bendy. So when it bends and stuff, it doesn't flake off like this stock paint they put on there. With the smaller diameter wheel, as you can tell, the disc is really close to the wheel. So getting that caliper right there, that brake caliper, to go in here, looks like it's going to be tricky. That's why, if you can tell, I'm missing 4 of the 6 screws on there, because I want to try to put it on there first if I can. And if I can't, then I'm probably going to take those off and see if I can put it on with the rotor loose on there, just, you know, floating around in there, so it gives it more space to move around and get into that caliper. That might be my solution, but let's see what happens. That is for sure. Tight fit. Yeah, looks like, yeah, it's kind of difficult. Let me know if you guys out there have figured out a way to put this on. But for me, it looks like this is gonna have to come off. So I took all the screws off, but left one in there, but loosened it too so it can go under it. Left it on there just so it holds, you know, the rotor in place and doesn't fall off as I'm trying to put it in there. So we're gonna go ahead and try to do this now this way. Let's see, there you go. Slide the rotor in there. Yeah, that was it. And then put the axle back on. Snug, you don't have to go too crazy on any of this. And this bolt right here, don't tighten that, leave that loose. You want this to be able to, you know, move around like this, so that way the forks don't jam up, so they don't start binding actually when they're going up and down right here on the fork legs. So that's the reason they leave that loose right there. It's just so when you're doing your jumping and stuff, it doesn't misalign your forks. If this was tight and you jump and you misalign it, then your fork will be crooked. It won't, you know, go up and down smoothly and all sorts of trouble. You want that to be free floating right there. So that's one more loose screw that's going to be on there, just like your rotor. So now your front rotor, you can install all your screws on there. Remember, just snug. This is all going into plastic, so you don't want to strip stuff. Once you get 2 of them on there, you don't have to hold on to the rotor anymore because it's pretty much centered. And you just go through the rest of your screws. You know, if you have an electric screwdriver, just be careful. Don't trip stuff out. That's why I always use hand tools, because I work on real cars and stuff, and yes, you need, you know, your pneumatic tools and stuff for that, but working on this stuff, it's more delicate stuff, and I do enjoy just taking my time and going through my rigs and RCs just more meticulously, just to get them to last longer, hopefully. Even RTRs like this one, I took completely apart when I got it brand new in the box, just because I like to, you know, see how everything is put together, how it works, so that when I go to put stuff together, I already know where stuff goes. I'm not surprised by anything, you know. That wheel looks tiny on there, but it looks super cool. And I forgot how many packs I have through this already. It's over 20 packs for sure. And this chain is still good. I still have one more adjustment. I think 1 or 2 more adjustments before this chain is done. I just got lazy. The hobby shop I ordered from had a couple in stock, so I said, you know what, throw them in there. I'll just get them for now, and maybe once I wear through those, I'll get the ones that, you know, you have to do yourself with the Master Link, because I do like to take the chain apart or take it off the bike and then clean it, degrease it, and re-wax it, and then put it back on and re-clean everything, the front sprocket, rear sprocket, you know. You gotta replace all that stuff and clean all of it. I still don't need to adjust my chain right now, so I'm good to just put everything back together. Move it forward so you can install the chain. There you go. Get the axle back on there. It's hard behind the camera. You just can't see where that goes. And then with your wheel nut and your wrench on this side, you gotta tighten that back on there. And this one you can do it pretty tight. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy. Just as long as you know this lock nut is on there nicely, you'll be fine. The Supermotos are on, guys. Check that out. And that gold sprocket, man, it's just a kicker right there. Completes the look. Looks pretty sweet in my opinion. What do you guys think? And my new gray sweater, my RTR sweater. I need to get the new logo still. I'm gonna get some stickers of that. And that's just a sticker, by the way. They just stick really well to these sweaters, so. And these sweaters, you can get them on Amazon if you're watching this. You can get them on Amazon, type L 1/4 size doll clothes or hoodie. And this will come up in multiple colors. I have it in this, I have it in black, and I have it in the red. But you wanna get the 1/4, not the 1/3 like I got for the black one, because it's a little bit too big, but. Oh yeah, sorry guys, I was bored one day. Sorry, I got a label maker in front of me and made a KX450 and Kawasaki back here. Yes, I know, and up here as well. Yes, I know guys, a little bit tacky, but yeah, you know. Well, there you go guys, ready for some Supermoto action? Some popping wheelies on demand, and no more wearing out my already worn out dirt tire. So I can't wait to get my dirt tires that I ordered in, so that way I'll have more of that action. And this right here wasn't too bad. You just have to have the rotor off, kinda, to do that one, and I showed you guys how to do that right there in the video. That should be simple enough for you guys to follow. Well, thanks as usual guys, thanks for watching, and if you enjoy this kind of content and it helps you out, consider subscribing. I do appreciate it. Go ahead and ask questions in the comments, even if it doesn't pertain to this guy right here, you know, to any RC you've seen me review or look at or play with. Go ahead and ask the questions. I do try my best to get back to all my comments if I can. Alright guys, thanks for watching as usual, and as always, have fun out there, be safe, and go run that RC.